Every day I see good people who have made mistakes. A run-in with the law doesn't mean that your world will fall apart. I'm attorney Justin Stovall, and at Stovall & Associates, we believe that everyone deserves honest and competent legal help in times of crisis. With offices in Las Vegas and Pahrump, high-quality legal help is always close to home. Know your rights and call today for your free legal consultation. Stovall & Associates, good lawyers for good people.
Court Reporter with Stovall & Associates.
Good evening. Welcome to Court Reporter with Stovall & Associates. I'm your host, Mike Iglinski. We have two guests tonight. Our first guest is Nye County Assistant Sheriff Rick Marshall. He's coming on to address the Harley Kulkin incident that we had on our July 22nd episode, and to basically address some of the allegations that were made. And then our second guest is Nye County Sheriff candidate Scott Coble to talk about his strategies and platform for the general election. So, first guest tonight, Mr. Marshall, thank you for being on. We do appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me.
What we're going to do is we're going to recap very quickly. Actually, we're going to show the video of the 22nd episode where Harley Kulkin discusses his situation at the fair last year. So we're going to play that really quickly, and then Mr. Marshall will really address them. So here's that video for you. A couple of issues that had come up with the sheriff's office. Could you kind of tell the viewers what's been happening and kind of where we're at in this process?
My opinion is the higher beings in the sheriff's office, including the sheriff and Rick Marshall and Bill Becht and some others, participate in political corruption in this community. They protect the people trying to get their own way, the special interests, and if anybody stands up to it like myself, and we saw what happened to Ted Holmes and so on, they have a very cavalier attitude about following the law, and they'll just arrest you for whatever you want. As an example, when I was arrested in a park over the Heath Campbell incident, they told the press and everything that I was arrested for felony strangulation. Boy, that made good press, didn't it? Mm-hmm. Well, I never really looked at the paperwork when I got released, and then recently I looked at it and actually booked me on misdemeanor battery. Where do they get off doing this kind of stuff? We don't have enough time to talk about how corrupt our sheriff's office is. But
obviously controversial, but we do appreciate you coming on to address some of the things that were said.
Again, thank you for having me on. Some of the things that I wanted to address was Harley had stated that people don't use logic when they vote. Well, I have to disagree with that. I think people know who they're going to vote for. A lot of times they vote straight Republican, straight Democrat, but I think that people do use logic when they vote. But the main things that I want to address is there were two things. One, Harley had claimed that he was booked on a misdemeanor battery. Now, when inmates are booked in, they receive a booking sheet, and Harley claimed that he went and looked at his booking sheet. So I brought a copy of the booking sheet, and I wanted to show it to you, Michael, to verify what in fact the charges were that he were booked on. And as you can see, it's battery with strangulation, a felony, provoking an assault, and a misdemeanor. Now this is all public record, so the fact that I'm bringing it in doesn't violate anything. As you can see, I've blocked out any of the descriptors that would be considered confidential. Yep. So when he says that he was booked on a misdemeanor, that's absolutely wrong, and Harley received a copy of this. Now, the more egregious thing in my opinion is that Harley had stated that the sheriff, the higher-ups, and Rick Marshall participate in political corruption, and he went on to talk about how corrupt the sheriff's office is. We have told everybody, Harley Kulkin included, time and time again, if you have a complaint, please file it. File it with the sheriff's office, file it with the attorney general, file it with the FBI. Now, Harley's a member of CCSC, and CCSC, the Concerned Citizens for a Safe Community, has for the last 2 years offered a reward. It's up to $4,000 for information on corrupt officials. If Harley has this information, why hasn't he collected it? I have told Harley time and time again, name the incidents that I'm corrupt in. Name them, put them on the table, and he has refused to do so to this date. I've had a lot of people ask me, well, why don't you sue him? Well, I did contact an attorney. An attorney told me you have to have damage to your reputation, and the people I talked to tell me that they don't respect Harley, so I don't think I'd have a case against him. So I just laugh it off, but when he goes forward and makes these charges, I like to set the record straight.
In fact, one of the things that was said during that interview was also some former deputies that had been let go.
Correct.
Can you detail as far as what you understand of that situation?
Harley, I believe Harley was referring, we had 2 deputies that citizens came forward and filed internal affairs complaints against them. Based on the complaints, we conducted criminal investigations. We actually arrested our officers and forwarded requests for criminal charges against those officers. They're now ex-officers, and those cases are making their way through the criminal justice system.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to add? I know you're very busy, but I do appreciate you coming on and want to give you the time to discuss anything else you might like to.
I just thank you for the opportunity, and I think your show's a really good show, and I hope to be on it more. Absolutely.
All right, Assistant Sheriff Rick Marshall, thanks for being on tonight. I do appreciate it. And like I said, open door anytime you do need to discuss something. We're more happy to have you on, or anyone else from the Sheriff's Office.
You can count on me coming back.
Okay, thank you, sir. We'll be right back.
Court Reporter with Stovall and Associates.